All right.
What's up, Alan?
Hi, Kerry. How you doing?
Doing great. Happy Tuesday, my man.
Oh yeah. Hey, I just saw your film, Amber Alert, and I've got to say, as a parent, I've had nightmares about your film, and long before I've ever seen it.
Then we did our job, right? I have three kids, and my wife. This is my biggest nightmare. I'm not worried about Jason or Freddy Krueger or the Boogeyman. This is my just like you, my biggest nightmare.
Yeah, yeah. I remember. Why did my parents just let me walk around the neighborhood by myself? And,
Oh, yeah, I grew up in the 80s where I'd leave at 8 a.m. and they're like, all right, we'll see you when the light comes on and the street lights. So, yeah, my parents too. Different world, right?
yeah. So let's get into it. Just give us the brief synopsis on Amber Alert.
Amber Alert is the story of a young girl named Jack who gets picked up by her rideshare by a gentleman named Shane, and as he is taking her to her destination, she gets an Amber Alert on her phone. So does he, and she looks at it and she thinks it might be the car next to them driving, and she decides to follow, and craziness ensues. Alan.
Okay. So we our channel attracts a lot of indie filmmakers,
Awesome.
and one thing I saw in the press notes was this is actually based on an earlier film you did long ago for about $5,000. Can you just give me the brief? How did that project come along, and then how did it get to this massive feature film with Lionsgate?
Yeah, so in January of 2010, my wife and I were driving from Los Angeles to Phoenix to visit my mother-in-law. As we were driving, we saw an Amber Alert, a legit big old sign, and those break your heart.
Mhm.
They, they turn you a little. And so I said, hey, Summer, is there a bat in the back of the car? Because I'm going to need it. Grab the wheel because we're going to find this car and we're going to take him down. And then she was like, wait, what do you mean? Like, you're going to run it off the road? Would you put the kid in danger? And I didn't, it spawned this hour and a half conversation of what would you legitimately do? And I remember I was like, that night I scoured the internet. I was like, why hasn't anyone made this? Seems like a great idea. And then I was waiting for Spielberg and Universal and everyone to give me $30 million, and no one knew I existed or wanted to give me any money. So we had $5,000 in our bank account, and my wife convinced me to make it found footage, which I thought we would have like El Chivo would be my cinematographer, and we would have cranes and everything. And it just happened. Those were the resources that we had, and we kind of tailored our outline to do that. But this was always like the film that I wanted to make, a traditional film. Um, and so I'm grateful that I got this opportunity. And so I guess to keep going, I made another film a couple years ago called Imminence. That is a great little film starring Michael Beach. And I got it to a friend at Lionsgate named Adam Sorensen, and he thought the film was great. And he says you can definitely make films and direct, but we unfortunately we can't distribute it. But do you have anything else? And I was like, do I have anything else? So in the meantime, we already had this script that Josh and I wrote, and we got it to Adam, and he's like, the script is great. I know the right person to get it to. Just give me some time. And he got it to the right person, and somehow we're here.
It's like magic for some reason. This is I find it interesting because a lot of filmmakers, they have that script that they've been working on, that first script that they've been working on for years. And it gets to the point where it's like, if this is ever going to be made, make it yourself. and you kind of did that with this one. You know, it sounds like what you did was you made the film and then you kind of expanded it and then just
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah,
found the opportunity for it.
absolutely. Like, I went off and made another film, but we wrote this script 10 years ago, always knowing this is what we wanted to do because our first one was very small, didn't have many eyes on it,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
so and you couldn't really do that much with tell the story how we wanted to. And so it was nice to kind of do what I've always wanted to do. With technology has been great. It was nice to have other characters and really layer and you know bring texture to the film. Um, all in all, keeping the heart of the film is two ordinary people doing something extraordinary, and not jumping from hood to hood or, grabbing, John Wicking people or, doing stuff that like you and I, if we're in this situation, what are we going to do? I'm not going to start kicking people or, I don't know. I just wanted it to be two people like you and I in this situation, and how would you handle it?
Mhm. Okay, so let's get to the film. You know, we talk a lot on our channel about tone, how important tone is to, especially the beginning of the film.
Yeah.
And right off the bat, I mean, I have to give it to you. It's, you know, the tone for me was just keeping me off balance. You know, presenting me with my worst nightmare, and then having me off balance as I'm going into your story. What were the discussions like when discussing how are we going to start this film and set this tone?
That's a great question because there's 100 different iterations of this film. Like it was optioned here. There's someone else who had ideas. Everyone knows this. Let's put dinosaurs in it. Like just crazy stuff. I always felt like Josh and I just didn't want to mess it up. Like I knew our script was really good, just not let the outside noise mess it up.
Mhm.
Being a parent myself, and also just keep the realism of this film. And as cheesy as it sounds, it was like we just don't want to jump the shark. We can never have our hero girl be Tomb Raider, and we can never have our hero guy, being like John McClane that's going to get everyone. We just needed regular, run of the mill, ordinary people stuck in this situation. And because we had 10 years, we had lots of time to like try different things. As much as it sucked, like believe me, man, I've had tears of joy, tears of sadness with trying to get this made. But having all of that time to really decide and get it was really helpful. As much as I wanted to make four other movies in the meantime, we were really able to just cut all the fat and make a sleek, fun, intense thriller.
Yeah, I'm curious because you say that you know you had like a million iterations of it. How do you narrow it down to the one, the one you're going to
Well,
put in the film?
great question. Well, sometimes there's money involved. So people are like, we'll give you money if you do this. And that's very tempting. You know, we had this whole um this like water park shootout at the very beginning of one iteration that was trying to take all the police somewhere that we got lost in. So then when our heroes were over here, we had so many different ideas. And then what it really came down to is what did I want to do? What was the story I wanted to tell? And I will say that we had opportunities, Josh and I, to sell the script numerous times. Financially, it could have helped me and my family. And Josh and my wife, who produces who's a great, fabulous producer who leveled this film up. They were always like, Kerry, we ride and die with you. You know, what do you want to do? And I am very grateful to Summer and Josh when maybe there was times I was stubborn or times where Josh is like, dude, is this ever going to get made if we're waiting on you to be able to direct it? But they did believe in me and trust me. And, you know, we all made a film together, which is awesome.
Mm. And then where does Lionsgate come in? Where do they step in? Were they there from the beginning, or did they kind of come in near the end?
No. So what was great was I got the script to uh, my buddy that I've known named Adam Sorensen at Lionsgate, and he's on a kind of different division. He does like a lot of the marketing, but he read the script and he's like, "This is good." He's like, "But we got it." He's like, "We have to strategically plan this." He's like, "I know who it needs to go to, but it's going to take time." And he was right. He knew the exact person. And it did take like 6 months for us to get on a call because they're so busy. And Adam, and then he got Lauren Bixby at Lionsgate, and they championed this from day one. They gave me options on how do you want to do it? Do you want to bring it in house, or we can get you producers who can help fund it? And they had some notes. You know, when we edited it, they were involved. And Adam and Lauren I'm so grateful for them because they got it right away and their notes were spectacular. And they also trusted me to go make a good film. You know, no one was sitting over my shoulder and like, you know, they just knew that the script was good and I just had to not mess it up.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things we've been kind of trumpeting here is this idea of, Hollywood's not the dream. The idea that you're going to go and submit something to Warner Brothers or Paramount or Disney or something like that, that's not. And that you seem to be the guy who says no, we're going to keep as much control as possible and be willing to sacrifice, some comforts along the way.
Yeah, I mean, we were offered, we optioned it different places. We were offered hundreds of thousands of dollars for a script. But at the end of the day, I want to be a filmmaker. And, you know, money would have been cool. It's not life changing. I have kids, I have a wife, I have bills. Um, but it was always like I knew and felt this film would help me creatively to do other stuff. I'm glad to be putting it to rest, but I'm also glad that we finally get to show the world the film that you know, we always wanted to make, that we knew could have some legs.
Amazing. Okay, well, thanks for talking with me. How can we see Amber Alert?
Thank you so much, Alan. I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for spreading the good word.
Okay, and is it in theaters or is it going
Yeah,
to?
select theaters September 27th and VOD. And yeah, it's good
All
times,
right.
bro.
Well, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Thank you.